Welcome back to PRJX. Our topic tonight will be fast fashion. Well, hello, Alex. How are you?
I'm doing great, Noah. How are you?
So we have this big topic of fast fashion. Anything of your interest? What do you think of it? What's your initial thoughts about it?
Well, fast fashion is the next big problem, isn't it? Really?
You think so?
In terms of like the sustainability fight, fast fashion is contributing to pollutants. It's a big money maker, but it's also a big pollution.
It's the next issue that we have to bring to awareness to people.
Yeah, you could say that.
It's the next big thing people have to think about.
Yeah. So how would you define fast fashion?
I don't really know a big definition about it, but I think of it as like, I was watching TV the other day and they were talking about it. So they're saying like, we have companies like Zara, H&M and all those who they produce certain garments. And these garments are like t-shirts, trousers, whatever. Yeah. And they're there just for like 5 days or a week or so, and then you don't see them again. They're just there, quickly done, bye-bye.
And that's the whole principle to it. It's like companies develop these trends so quickly.
And it's a new business plan, as you said.
Companies develop these trends so quickly, like H&M, Topman, ASOS. They almost last weekly, compared to what we used to see in trends in clothes. A trend would last a year, maybe even longer than
now. They just stand like a week. Even with H&M, when you go in, anytime like you go today to H&M or you go H&M next week, you'll find something different. You'll find different stuff, and you'll be intrigued. Even Zara, they started their new business plan, and that's why the guy is really rich. The guy who made it. It's like Zara. No, they make high copies of certain, not high copies, but they make like the Balenciaga new shoes, which is like the sock shoe they make. It's called like socks. So it's as if you're wearing socks, but it's a shoe connected to it. Zara made the same thing, and other companies did the same thing. And now you don't have to pay $600 for a shoe. You can just go to Zara and buy it for $30. Yeah. So now you're part of the new trend. And then next week the trend changes. So you don't have to spend all that money, and then you go to this. And as you said, like it's something very quickly. The trend can be like cut pants and then something else and then something else.
And following from that, the reason it makes so much money is because people want to keep up with trends. So obviously, if the trends are changing weekly, sales are coming in weekly from different people. That's why it's one of the biggest money makers to date. Fast fashion, just like as an industry.
Yeah, people want to be part of the group of the new trend. What's happening? I want to be part of this new edgy thing. Oh, look at this shirt. I want to have this. Yeah. Anything like a trend, like in Egypt. I don't know if it's in the world. Like there's this time people used to wear these swimming suits which had turtles. Well, I can't remember the company's name. It's called Victor, something with a V. I can't remember.
It would do.
I can't remember what it was called, but like people, the trend thing about it was that you can get it for your father and the son.
Right.
So the father and the son can wear the same swimming suit, and it sounds really cute. So like, it's like a family thing. So people go like, you'd buy the whole family. So the father, the son, the brother, and they all wear the same swimming suit.
It's all coming in.
Everyone has the same swimming suit. You see the family going into the altar with the same swimming suit.
Yeah.
But that was like the big trend. But like then now no one really cares. It's just a swimming suit. But,
that's the thing. It changes so rapidly that you don't really have time to see
to catch up. Like I don't catch up with fashion. I just really don't care.
You're not into fast fashion.
Nope. I just wear whatever I feel like. Yeah. If I like a pink T-shirt, I'll wear that pink T-shirt. If I like to wear a banana, I'm going to wear a banana. If I'm going to wear an orange, I don't care. I just want to wear something that I like.
Just get it on. No, that makes sense.
Do you think, like, what do you think about the fact, like, I heard you researched it before, you talked about it before, like, you had an interest in it.
So, I've got some stats here on fast fashion. In particular, some of them are going to be quite shocking. But to go back to, like, the kind of corporate side of it. So, globally, fast fashion the whole industry produces about 1 billion garments each year.
1 billion?
Internationally. Each of them being a different trend.
And that's not only like in just H&M, that's everywhere.
Everywhere, across the world. It's almost like 1 billion individual trends.
Billion?
that are produced each year because of it.
It's amazing.
And this leads fast fashion to make around $3 trillion each year.
$3 trillion?
3 trillion. That's 12 zeros.
That's
a big number.
Crap.
That's crap.
I can't believe how they, like, it's very simple, like, you know. And now you can make anything that's like, it just amazes me, like anything can be a trend. Yeah. I can cut my pants now and make it a trend. Like cut it, no,
you can trim them into speedos and that would be a trend.
People used to, like a long time ago, I don't know, people would never wear the cutted pants. You don't have people wearing pants with cutted edges. People don't care. They'd have to be full pants straight on, and it looks weird when you have cutted pants, like when you have like some cuts in your pants. Now, even if your pants are wearing off, you're like, okay, I can just cut some holes in them and I'll make it really trendy. You know,
Yeah.
some
Start
people just do
ripping
it.
your clothes
You just
apart.
rip it apart and it makes it look really cool.
I'm
You know, it's
guilty
like
of that.
it's like my pants are going. No, I'm gonna use it. You can go back to this idea of circular economy and like, oh, I'm gonna keep using it until it's dead.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm just gonna cut a bit of it and make
Well,
it.
going off from that comes down to one of the problems with it is that clothes aren't really that recyclable. They're reusable, but you can't really recycle knitted fashion into that. And this comes on to the sustainability problem, like the pollutant, where fast fashion as an industry emits 1.2 billion tons of CO2 each year.
1 point what?
1.2 billion.
That's a lot.
Which is around 5% of global emission.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a
That's
lot
like-
of.
That might be the next big thing, like, you know, like with climate change and all that's happening and that.
So well, that's the thing. To 5% of all global pollutants is coming from fast fashion. That's a significant chunk considering all the other industries going into it. So that's why we say it's one of the new emerging problems for sustainability. And in terms of wastewater as well and water pollutant, fast fashion is responsible for 20%
20%.
of wastewater pollutants.
Crap.
That was, in 2015, 92 million tons of wastewater, which pollutable or go back into the ocean.
That's very interesting. What interests me more about this, that these things you learn about and you just read about, is that you only see them online like recently, and you wouldn't know about them unless you have nothing else to do in life and just keep searching. But some countries really don't have a damn clue about these things. Even
They
individuals,
really
if you go into the pub with someone and talk to them about fast fashion, he's like, what is fast fashion?
Yeah.
What is this?
Especially down here.
No, even here, but like, even if I talk to someone, it's like, are you being an idiot? What is this? Or, no, the world is doing fine. Fashion. Even if you talk to fashionistas, people who are in the fashion industry, even now, because people are more circular economy based, they look we want to be sustainable. Everyone wants to be sustainable. People love it, but you come back to the real story where like they don't really care. They just want to be part of the trend because that's their business model. And if they don't do the business model, they're gonna fail.
Yeah.
Like Zara, H&M, and all these people, if they don't do what they keep doing, they will fail epically. Unless they find a loop outside.
That's the thing, they can't really slow down.
They just keep going, and as technology is going, let's keep going, and then it just goes and goes and goes.
Yeah.
And then we are the problem. We screw this place up. We screw it up. We are the ones who screw everything. We are humans
in general for this
No,
planet.
like humans. Like you look at.
You don't see deer screwing up the planet, do you?
Leave fast fashion alone. We got back to it, but like, see how the Earth is all this pollution and I don't know, climate change, all this. We were all aware of this 20, 30 years ago, but we didn't give two craps about it. Now we're scared. We're seeing forest fires, and now we're looking at this, and then there's other results and impacts. So one of the impacts we're having now is this fast fashion. Even these industries are impacting us so much, and we're trying to struggle because people told us about it. We learned it a long time ago, and we're like, it's fine. It's gonna come later. And now we're struggling. Like the only option is going to Mars.
So do you think,
like, fast fashion is just crazy, man?
as a solution for fast fashion, how do you think there are solutions to tackle the climate problem? Do you think it's just about slowing it down and preventing the trends from
I think it's
growing?
slowing down the trends, or like putting the mindset of sustainability in it, or talking to people, showing the importance or the impact they're doing, or just showing advertising or videos, just 30-second videos, 1-minute videos everywhere about, say this bottle, I bought it and I'm gonna throw it in the bin.
Yeah.
Say the impact of just throwing it in the bin. It's not gonna get recycled, because like I was doing a project last year, I can't remember, it's a very small portion of those things you throw in the bin that really get recycled. You think that they're going to
there's
be
downcycling and then there's upcycling.
Yeah, you think they'll be but we're all in this illusion where you throw it in the recycling bin, it's gonna get recycled. It doesn't happen as much.
Yeah.
You throw it, and I had a lecture earlier, and like, so if someone throws a can of like Coke or something inside the recycling bin by accident, everything can't be recycled anymore. So nothing can be recycled. So it's just a problem. I think it's putting an awareness to people, telling them, okay, if you buy this, this will happen. If you buy that, that will happen. And putting it, okay, so we have to take action. Why are we doing this? Why can we do this? And what can we do as a community? It's looking at the community as well. What can we do as a community to fast fashion, you know?
Okay, I see where you're coming from with the whole like recycling of like the plastics and the cans and whatnot. But when it comes to fast fashion, obviously a lot of the pollutants of fast fashion come from
Fabrics
water pollution, and then that water being resourced back into the ocean. So whereas like with recycling plastics get downcycled to about 20% of the original use of the plastic, or 20% of the total weight of it. And that 20% then just gets tossed in the ocean, while the other 80% goes into another product. So with fast fashion, there's over 3,500 different chemicals that the textiles in them get treated with. And that all goes through water processing into the clothing to even fabricate it together.
Wow.
And then when that water's been like washed and done with, once it's been mixed with the chemicals, it ends up back in the ocean, which again, it's another problem of ocean pollution, but it's not necessarily one of microplastics. It's more of a chemical-based one.
What do you think? Like, I'm not very into like the industry as much, but what would your thoughts be? Like, what do you think might be an extra solution to this?
In terms of disposing the water, it's a difficult one because you can't use that water for anything else. Once it's been treated with that many chemicals,
it's unusable.
It's completely wastewater at that point. So obviously for the companies, they just dump it into the oceans, into the rivers, and that's where it resides. But the way to kind of prevent that, it wouldn't be to dump it or just go to even eject it into space. It would be finding a different use for it.
Well, chemicals of water, like the chemicals inside the water.
Yeah, perhaps more like a filtration use. If they can filter the water down so that even 80%, 50 to 80% of the water then becomes pure, and the remaining 50 to 20% is this chemical bound one. It's reducing the waste, but even then there's still the problem of where does it go after.
And do you think, like, as you said, and you asked me this question, do you think in the future we can go, the percentage or the numbers that we see in fast fashion can go down or can go lower?
The worrying thing about it is that it's predicted to increase in terms of growth by 60% by 2030. So it's not slowing down. It's actually increasing exponentially in terms of the rate the industry is growing. At the current production rates, this is sourced, the fast fashion industry is already socially and environmentally unsustainable, and representatives from the Copenhagen Fashion Summit admit that the predicted growth would risk destabilizing our natural systems to the point of irreversible damage.
No more trends.
So the way you stop that, cut out trends. It's scary because between 1992 and 2002, the rate that we hold onto our clothes has decreased by 50%.
Yeah, I know, it's just crazy.
So people do not, clothes now that are constructed for fast fashion are built to be short term because they're built to only last for the current
So you're
trend.
saying like from 1990?
1992
to 2002, we'd stay with our clothes for a while.
Between that point, yeah.
But now we don't care. We just buy quickly. You go to Primark or H&M or whatever. You buy like 20 shirts.
It's cheap clothes as well. That are part of the problem.
Yeah, you go to Primark. You buy the cheapest things like a white. You have an event like a white party. You go buy 6 white T-shirts. Costs you £10 to buy 10 T-shirts. You're like, great.
Yeah.
You go into the mud or you do some spray paint on it and then done, throw it out.
Yeah.
And then you don't think of that final impact of what's going to happen after throwing that T-shirt out.
Yeah.
And now, as you said, this time I think none of us sustain. And I think morally that we don't keep the clothes for a while is that after you're putting in the washing machine, which I have had to fight, I had problems with the washing machine as well, is that sometimes your clothes shrink after a while. No, they shrink as like a really, really bad shrink.
They lose their colors as well.
And if you don't know the logistics of using a washing machine, like if you don't know how to use a washing machine and you put the white to the colors, you're gonna die because it's gonna be like, you're gonna have white socks that become red and red become blue and green. No, it's gonna be your red shirt is gonna, your favorite red shirt is gonna be green, and it's a problem. But like I think the washing machine also has a problem when you're washing it. And
as well, it's extracting that water that's then gonna have the the same chemical used in dyeing the clothes, stretching the fabrics, goes in the water, water goes straight into the sewer, sewer goes straight into the ocean.
And then
So
we have a
it's
very polluted
pouring more of
ocean.
that wastewater into it.
And then we have a polluted ocean, which kills the animals that we fish for and we eat. And sorry for the vegans here, I know, and people that don't like it, but like people need to eat and people live on food, and that's how life is. People love fish, and that's how we need to have it.
Very passionate about.
People need fish, man. Yeah, people who live near the docks, they need to eat fish. They're not gonna eat hot dogs, you know.
Mm.
We're not gonna eat steaks at the beach. You know, you're gonna eat fish and chips.
Well, going back to the whole polluting side of it, there is actually plastic pollution involved with fast fashion too. 60% of clothing is made from synthetic material.
Synthetic material. What are synthetic material? Cotton.
So
cotton
synthetic material is material that is almost man-made. It's like a
like
collaboration
cotton.
material.
Or
Yeah,
that, yeah.
it's processed. Cotton's processed through many different techniques and approaches and changed into the threading that we use for our clothes. Synthetic materials make up 98% of clothes that we wear currently. And every garment we produce with synthetic materials will remain on Earth. It doesn't degrade, essentially.
Yeah.
Or it takes about 12 years for synthetic material to degrade. Once it's gone down, even being burnt, it just doesn't get disposed of. And you can't really make biodegradable clothing, can you? It will just whittle away in the rain, sort of thing.
Now there's this new thing, which is very interesting. I don't know if it's going to be part of fast fashion, but I was looking at it. We had this seminar with a lecturer. Only 4 people showed up, which is hilarious. But the problem wasn't
Doesn't
that.
surprise me.
That wasn't the problem. We're uni students, but that's not the issue. There's this video, which is this T-shirt, where like instead of throwing the shirt and stuff, it's very creative. You buy the shirt, you make it a shirt, and you say, "I have this is like grey," and then you spray it. Or actually, no, you don't spray. You don't wear it. It's like you spray yourself, and it starts to become
Spray
a
on
garment.
clothing, the radical innovation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you spray on clothing, so you can just change it, and then you don't need to do any pollution or anything.
Yeah, and it's biodegradable as well.
Yeah,
because it's only meant to last like 1 day.
If you only have it for that day, and like imagine, but you know, you spray it to your skin. You spray it to your skin, and your skin then above your skin you start forming this T-shirt or jacket or whatever for that certain day or event, and then you can just break it and then make a new one, and then a new one, and then a new one.
Yeah, and they had the different colours as
Which
well.
is amazing.
You could do different kind of material because you could spray on jackets and stuff.
But that was very interesting to me. Like you get into this radical change which you can have and change the world.
So do you think the solution to the pollutant problem would be innovations for different kind of processes of clothing? Because obviously that's making your clothing on the spot, spraying it on, compared to it being produced in a factory, make X amount, and then that trend dies after a week.
I think the solution to fast fashion, I might be wrong. I'm not a guy from philosophy. I'm not a guy from chemistry. I'm not a physicist.
You're a philosopher to me.
I'm not a physicist. I don't know the chemistry of anything. I'm a very chill dude. I don't really care about numbers, but I'm a really funny, weird guy as well. But that's not the problem. The problem, I think,
plugging yourself here.
Yeah, I just do me. I just do me, and I think everyone should do themselves. Yeah, don't think it in the wrong way. But what I mean, like, I think the solution to fast fashion is the same thing we have with everything, with the electric cars, the autonomous cars, and all this. It's getting, I don't know. It's trying to find a new innovation, a new idea, which works the same as the electric car.
Yeah.
Which are, like, even today, there's this company, I can't remember, River Space or so. I can't remember the name. They made the first hydrogen-led car, so it goes on hydrogen, only hydrogen cells. So it's looking for a new idea that can go into this thing, or it can go into the market, which can also make your business succeed, but you don't go into bankruptcy, and you're saving the environment at the end of the day, and you don't pollute the ocean, and everyone's happy. The fishermen are happy, you're happy, the businessmen are happy. Which
everyone's happy.
Yeah, we have to have a happy world.
So you think the solution is innovations?
Yes, and like my friend Tom in my year group said, happy days, and that's what I always like when he says it. And that's, I think, is the big solution.
Because
Innovations.
If you look at the way...
Innovations is the key. And innovation is a big word as well. You can't just say innovations, but it's in that industry, see what we can do next. We have the technology to change a lot of things.
It's interesting because if you look at the way companies are trying to cut down plastic, they're not necessarily using innovational techniques, they're just switching the material. So some companies will go from plastic bags to paper bags. Some companies will even go completely carrier free. You bring in your own jars or your own sort of bags and fill up like that. Does that kind of apply to fast fashion?
I don't know, like, because it can be old school. You can go back to the system, or like some companies were like, they started from here and then they went to the new system, which is like, wow, this is amazing. It works for 3 years, and then now we're screwed. Let's go back. Yeah. Let's go back to the old system, that's what they found, especially in restaurants and stuff. I think in some companies this can work in fast fashion when you look at it in fashion industries. But as well, you have to also look at who you are, who your audience is, what's happening. And we also have to look at trends. Trends is the big thing in fast fashion. And that's the thing. Do you think, like, I always think, like, even like we look at these people like Primark, H&M's, or that's their business. They have things that are there for 1 week only. If you miss that week, can that stop? Can that be stopped? Can that be changed? Can that be eliminated of the industry, and we could have that same black jacket for the next year and a half?
What companies do you think fast fashion applies to? Because take a company like Supreme, for example, who they have a plain white t-shirt, they whack their logo on it, they can sell that t-shirt for
$600.
Well, they sell it for about $250, and then someone who owns that will then resell it for $600, etc. Yeah. When they did the Supreme and Louis Vuitton crossover, they had it was a signature red hoodie with Supreme logo on it and Louis Vuitton logo going on it, and it sold for, I think it was $9,999.
So like 10,000.
So 10 grand for a hoodie, just because it had the Louis Vuitton and Supreme logo. Do you think that contributes to fast fashion? Kind of other companies trying to keep up with that, or?
Well, we go back to the hype market where people.
Hype market's very interesting.
We talk about like Supreme and all this, where I can put a Supreme logo on this and sell it for this.
You probably could. They put a Supreme logo on a brick. And sold it for about $600.
I can put this. This is empty.
So,
this is empty. It might be Coca-Cola. It can be orange juice. I put a Supreme bottle. Supreme juice. Welcome to the new world. I can sell this and be rich tomorrow. Yeah. I can get a Supreme sticker on my phone. Oh, perfect. Supreme 600. It's also the hype. People are always interested to see what they can't have, or like they see Alex wearing something. Oh, let's try this. Let's see this. This is the new thing.
Go to ASOS.
No, like, oh, this is a new, I don't know, like XYZ company. We have to do this. Or look at the new trend that's wearing this. I've never followed trends. Never. I hate it. I don't wear cutted pants.
You're not a very mainstream kind of guy then?
No. I like to wear what I like.
Yeah.
If I like this coat, I'll wear it. If I like the shoes maybe, for me it's comfortability. If it does the job, if it's comfortable, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, I don't really care about the logo, the signs. I like the shirt, it's nice. Even I go to a stand in a shop, I take 20 shirts. I try them on.
Yeah.
No, I try them. I don't buy the 20 shirts. I try them on. They look really nice on the stand. But when I go in, I try them in the mirror. They aren't fascinating as I thought. Yeah. So I go and buy one instead of 20. And then that shirt can stay with me for a while and stuff. But I'm a very simple person. Some people, as you said, when you talk about Supreme, they would stand in the line for 6 hours, 3 hours to go. And then the guy's like, sorry, we don't have any more. Thank you for coming. See you next week, you know. Same thing with the Yeezy shoes. Yeah. Like, there's the new Yeezy shoes, which is like, wow, it's the Yeezy shoes. It's just shoes, but it's because it's made from Kanye West. People are just happy about it. Yeah. And it's a trend, so people want to go into it.
We had a couple of people on our course last year who followed like the hype market trends.
Yeah, you'd have them, you'll see them, and it's going. But for me, it's disgusting. I hate it. I don't like it. I would never wear something.
What's the most you'd spend on an item of clothing?
A line of clothing, it depends which brand. It depends on like the quality and all that.
You spend 100 quid on a shirt?
No, I'd pay 50.
You'd pay 50 for. What about a jacket? How much would you spend on a jacket?
Depends. Like, do you mean like a big jacket that keeps you warm and all that, or is it like just a jacket?
If you've seen an overcoat in a shop going for £300 and you really like it, would you get it?
No.
No.
It depends. I know people who would. No. I wouldn't. I would only buy it. There's some logic to buy. For me, as a buying, there's a logic purpose when I buy. Some buyers don't look at the logic sense. They're like, oh, I like this. I'm just gonna buy it. They don't even try it on. They just, oh, perfect. It's a Louis Vuitton jacket. I will buy it. It's a Hugo Boss.
Well, what do you think of this new kind of not necessarily new, but some people now use clothes as a collector's item. Take like Yeezys and retro Nikes, for example, even new coming Nikes from collections. When they're limited stock, people will buy them just to have as a collector's item, almost like a piece of art.
And then to show them off, like.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think of that as a new kind of process? Is
It's
that just like people doing them?
I think it depends. Some people, it's either they're doing them, they like it. Some people like to collect stuff. Some
Because
people
certainly for collectors,
when
when something's niche like that and they've only got limited stock.
No, of course, some people do that, but some people who aren't really into the fashion industry, it's also about peer pressure when you're in a social group. Oh, look, I have to have this, because sometimes when you see people in that type of fashion and like wearing stuff, it's very easy when you see someone, like when you see them from 10 meters away, when you see him wearing a Yeezy or having an AirPod, you can know who that kind of person is. Or people start judging this person from 10 meters away.
I get you.
They can say, oh, look at this guy. Look, he's very arrogant. Look, he's wearing those shirts or this big like branded shirt and like these shoes and all that garbage.
Yeah.
But the guy might be a very nice dude, but like some people do it because they like it, because they truly love the brand, and some people do it to show off, which is my issue when people try and show off. And I would never buy like a brand. Flexing, which doesn't make sense because like, you know, you can lose the jacket, something can happen to the jacket.
Buy another one.
Same thing. No, like the shoes, like some people buy $600 shoes. The shoes get cut. What are you gonna do? They will get ripped. It's very depressing. You know, it just depresses me when I see someone buying this kind of shoe. Like there's this big brand called Zanotti's, shoes worth $1,000. I would never buy them because if anything happens to them, I'll be crying next to them.
Kind of reminds me of some of the older retro Jordans where people would have bought them at the time for about $100 to $300, and now because they were trending in like the 70s, they can resell them now for almost 20,000 at a piece.
No, the shoe would be £1,000. Like no, I don't know how you resell them, but when you go like to their shop in any shoe shop, they'll be selling at $1,000. But I wouldn't buy them just because I know like the shoe needs practicality. Any shirt, anything, you have to think of practicality.
Yeah.
So where am I going to wear this shirt? Is it just am I buying the suit as well? Maybe like if you're buying a suit, am I buying it for like I'm going to a show? Am I going for dinner? Yeah. Am I going to propose to this girl? Am I doing this? Is there something, logical reason?
So do you think clothing from the hype markets, do you think they have any practicality to them?
Nope.
You think it's all just for design?
Yep.
Okay.
Even I was watching a video, Supreme logo was stolen from this other lady that I feel really sorry for. This lady, she had the logo, someone stole it from her, and it was even said on TV. It's very hilarious.
What, the actual Supreme original logo?
Not the word, I assume, but I think the sign of the logo itself.
Yeah.
The designs, the logistics of the logo.
Red border.
Yeah, they got it on a show, and it was very interesting to me that something like that. And people would be willing to go, and it's like, why are you willing? Because people sometimes miss, like you can look at people miss the point of logic when they buy. They just see, oh look, this is new. Yeah. George is gonna like it. Marcus is gonna love it. I'm gonna show it to my friends. Oh, my girlfriend's gonna like this. You know, people don't look at I will only buy a $1,000 shoe if it can make me fly. If it can make me fly from one room if it can make me fly from here to Australia, perfect. Or teleportation or something that makes it fun, I would do it, but I wouldn't do it like, you know.
I think the trend of fast fashion, like there's two ends of the spectrum to it. There's people who buy clothes from fast fashion because everyone is buying these clothes. It's the trend. So, and you want to keep up with the trend, you want to look like everyone else. And then you have people as well who will completely ignore the trend because they want clothes no one else is going to wear. So you have people who want the clothes that everyone's going to be seen in, and you want people who want the clothes that no one's going to be seen in. And I think that is where the hype market dips into, because obviously with the limited stocks.
Would you buy like a $300 shirt?
No.
Like even if you had the money, would you go for like a shirt that's worth $300?
If I had so much money that I literally didn't need it anymore.
Say like you had $10 billion in your bank account.
If I had 10 bill in my bank, I'd wear suits all the time. I'd wear suits as pajamas. I'd go to sleep and wake up in a suit, foot straight. But
you'd be willing to sell, like if the shirt you're wearing now, It was sold. It was you found it at the shop, and it says like, yeah. You ask for the price, and it's like $300, sir. Would you buy that black shirt for $300?
This exact one for 300.
Yes. Do you think it's worth $300?
No, because I got it for 8.
See, that's like.
So,
And I wouldn't buy it for $300, like even because like anything, not because of that shirt, just because I feel like it has to have a magic touch to it. I don't think putting a brand on it makes it different.
It needs to cure world hunger.
Yeah,
Buy
because
these
some people
shoes.
don't know like behind the stories of these shops or like the people that do these fashion stuff. There's people that very poor people making these manufacturing things in like Asia and crap, and you get to
That
see.
leads on to another stat I actually have.
And you're like, you think it's wow, perfect from the Philippines, and it's from India, and it's from I don't know where, but you wear it and it's wow, and it makes a statement when you wear a Boss T-shirt or you wear this Ralph Lauren or you wear this Supreme. Look at this guy, look at this.
Yeah.
But for me, when I see a guy wearing Supreme, I disrespect him. I don't like it. I wouldn't like it at all. I can't wear it as Noor. I would never wear a Supreme shirt ever.
Yeah.
It would never be put in my closet ever. I can't think about it.
So for your birthday, I got you this Supreme shirt. No.
I can't say anything. Huh?
Going back to the treatment of workers, the main country that produces fast fashion clothing,
China.
well, interestingly, it's Bangladesh. The country that most businesses outsource their manufacturing to, for like Primark and Walmart, for example. It's mainly Bangladesh. And since 2005, in just Bangladesh, 1,800 workers have been killed because of the poor working conditions in fast fashion. This is according to the International Labour Rights Forum.
Yeah, it's, like these things, that's the thing, like you look at this company, you look at companies in general, not just fast fashion or just anything in the fashion industry, anywhere in the world, they're perfect, they look amazing, they do this, they make this. Go inside, it's a scary place to be in.
Yeah.
You don't know the backstory of the place, you don't know. Okay, so there's this thing, leave it from fashion, I'll come back to fashion, but like, say there's a 2022 World Cup in Qatar. People are being treated like crap. People are dying, but people they can't see it because the media is being paid to not be telling these stories. But when you get into it and you read it yourself as Alex or Kanur or whoever who wants to read it, you'll see really bad things happening. You'll see cruelty, people being unpaid, very bad conditions.
Why don't you think the media publicise that?
Because it's a very controversial topic, but like people are being paid. It's under the table shit. It's drama. It's a dirty game. Western media only likes certain things, and they're paid to do certain things, and that's what they do. They don't want to show the truth at some point. There's these things, the controversies of like propaganda and all this, and I can pay you $20 million now to hide the story, and you will do it because I'll give you the cash, and you'll be like, oh, look at this. This is amazing. Look at this.
Going on from that, you even have the treatment of workers for companies like Foxconn, the company that make Apple phones, where they construct them all
in China.
In China.
They're
and they
really
even
bad.
had to install suicide nets.
Yeah, because every person who falls, they fall into the net.
Yeah.
I remember this.
People were jumping out.
No, it's just crazy. People, they don't talk about these things, and these things have to be talked about because people are in really bad conditions, whether it's in the fashion industry, construction, whatever. Some people are really in harsh conditions, and people aren't accepting that or don't believe that they're privileged to be living a certain life, but these people are living hell. And parts of this is just annoying because no one wants to, and the media is just paying and they're happy and everyone's paying the bills, so people are just happy, So it scares me, but people love it, people don't care. People just like the t-shirt from Zara or the H&M from Bangladesh. They don't think about it.
Do you think enough people know about fast fashion as a problem?
No, I don't think they know it as a problem because it's growing. The same thing with climate change. The same thing with recycling plastic and plastic in the ocean. I wasn't one that really cared about plastic in the ocean if you asked me 3 years ago, I wouldn't be really interested in it.
No.
But after all the research through the years we've been doing on our course and looking at it, it's amazing.
Yeah.
People have to be aware. But these things are they're small things that if people talk about today, these are the things we have to talk about today. We have to bring attention to people, tell them, well, look, this is happening right in front of your eyes. People are dying, this is happening, this is polluting. You're buying the shirt from Bangladesh, but did you know the story behind the t-shirt? You don't know the story. And you know that the company you supported for 20 years is polluting the waters that are killing these people and happening. People don't know the story, the moral of the story, as I say. people don't read it. They only care about what they think, and that's it.
It's interesting what you said earlier about with the chemical pollutants in the water affecting the fish population. And like you say, some people do rely on fish.
Yeah, it's true. Some people do.
India and whatnot, for their main source of nutrients and just food in general. When these fish get polluted, the ones that they still consume that have been polluted are then putting the chemicals into their body.
Yeah, we eat the stuff. It's just scary.
It directly affects people as well in terms of harming them.
Look, it's like a cycle. I was doing a project. It's like a cycle. You do something, we pollute the ocean, the fish eat the pollution, then we fish the fish, we eat the fish, we get pollution into our bodies, we get something in our stomach, we go to the hospital, we die. It's a simple system.
Yeah.
And it's a big issue, but we don't look at it this way. We just think, we're just gonna buy this, we're gonna keep doing this. But we're always supporting these things and we don't know the backstory. That's the problem. And we need to start alerting people, as I said again. Alert. People have to be on alert. As we are dying, the earth is dying day in, day out. And fast fashion is the next, maybe you can say, in the next 10 problems that we have today, with climate change and plastic pollution. This is one of the big elements we have to bring to people's minds.
When it comes to making people aware, because obviously there's been so many campaigns recently, in particular the US and the UK, about making the awareness of climate change spread. The thing is, people hear climate change and we know that the processes we're doing today are killing the climate, or they're heating up the climate, causing everything to go to hell, basically. Do you think people actually realize what is causing climate change? Or do you think people are just more aware that it's happening?
I think people are starting to get aware. We have these, you see the protests all around the UK right now. You see the protests around Europe. You see this new, the girl from Sweden, where she started.
Greta Thunberg.
Oh, she's just amazing. She's like the first activist who made millions do revolutions, or not revolution, protest on a certain thing. She went to the EU, she went to New York, she went to where?
She went to the summits.
Yeah, in the UN. But she's been from Europe to New York on a boat, on a sailing boat, which is very hard to do because the Atlantic is very hard.
Extremely hard to do.
And it takes a longer time. Like a plane, it's 8 hours, fun, great. This one takes 2 weeks or so, But she's doing a movement. We have to promote a movement. We have to say people think you're stupid today, but it's the big thing in 20 years. So are you thinking about our life today and what we can do in the next month? Or should we be thinking what's happening in 20 years? And that's the thing. We have to put it in you see it in a lot of, what I see in the UK, which I'm happy about, is the TV ads. Or you can see it in other things as well, on YouTube and stuff. People start talking about it. People talk about it on TV and they start bringing it up because people were putting it away. They were shifting the story. They don't want to tell people about it. It's like someone doesn't want you to know the real thing about it,
Yeah.
And then you have this girl, she comes up and she's like, then the governments are like, crap, she came up.
So what do you think of the movements that are coming into effect as a result of this?
I think it's...
Take Extinction Rebellion, probably the most radical one.
I think it's good to have them just because they're making an action and they're making people understand that there's something we have to think of.
Would you support them?
I wouldn't support them I'd go protest. I see the protests, I wouldn't protest, but I'm interested to see where this goes.
Yeah.
I'm just really interested because we were at a point where no one really cared about it, and now we have millions that are protesting regarding this. And you can see all these countries that are having issues, and no one's very perfect. No one's living in a utopia. But these things are just ringing a bell to everyone, saying we're here. We know that there's something happening. Being in fashion, motorways, anything, construction, automotives, everything. We know there's an issue and we need a solution. So let's get together and make a solution. Like we have Trump who he didn't even sign the Paris Agreement for climate change, which is a big problem for many. And now we need to talk about these things. People don't talk about it. These things are important for people to know that there is a problem and we have to have a solution. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not after tomorrow, but...
Do you think that solution then, going back to what we were talking about earlier, you think that solution is innovations?
Yes.
the incremental innovations or the
Yes.
radical innovations?
For me, it's incremental innovations. I don't know if it will go this way or that. But, you know, people are changing the world. We have Elon Musk changing the world of cars, changing the way...
Cybertruck.
Yeah, the Cybertruck. The guy's a legend, to be honest. PayPal, here, SpaceX, challenging the world. Making a reality, making something different, making a reality of something. You're like, oh, even the Cybertruck wasn't a success, by the way. He made it. He said the glass is super strength. He cracked it. It cracked. But people made memes. People bought it. They had 40,000 sales.
They're currently at 250k sales, and they've done no marketing.
Exactly, just out of memes, you know.
Yeah.
But the guy
Just out of Twitter.
The guy
basically.
is the guy is legendary. But we have to have people that have this incremental thinking or just thinking about the future. This guy is thinking 20 years ahead, and if we all think the same way, we might get a solution to certain things like this. And we need it. We need people like him, the girl that I can't remember her name. Greta. All these people are making a difference, and we need them. And that's why we need to think. We can't just be having a band. We can't just be drinking pints all day. It's fun to have pints all day, but to certain extents. Like in university, it's fun to have pints and stuff and just relax. But it's the thing, you know?
Yeah. So, like I said, going back to it earlier, when it comes to awareness of the kind of impacts of climate change that fast fashion brings about, do you think people know enough about how climate change occurs? Or do you just think they know climate change is happening and what it's going to do?
As I said before, I think people just know what climate change is, which is good because some people didn't know what it was. And people are starting to think more about it and investigate what it is, get into it, go inside, think deeper than just what the word or topic means. About fast fashion, I'm not really sure. Maybe fashion companies have started to look into it because it's impacting their customer base or that and that. But I'm not really sure. What are your thoughts? I'm not very...
I think people don't know enough about how climate change occurs, but I just think they know the impacts of it. But one thing I'd be interested to see is if there is any kind of regulation implemented for fast fashion from government. Because people can protest a company, but any publicity is publicity, whether it be negative or positive. And as long as trends evolve, people are going to buy those trends. I think the way to slow down fast fashion initially would be a form of policy.
Do you think we can have policies? Like, do you think... Because you say the Western world is somewhere... I feel like the Western world is like 20 years above or 20 years in advance. And then you have the developing countries. Do you think we can put this into proportion? Can we do this? Can we put these laws? Can we put these restrictions?
I think we can limit the amount of chemicals and things. Government can regulate and limit how many chemicals and such go into the clothing and the processes. And I think that would be a start. Because just like how they're limiting the amount of emissions companies are allowed to produce now, if they exceed the limit, it's a huge fine that companies can be paid, depending on how much they exceed it by. I think they can do the same for fast fashion.
And do you think this can be done in the nearest, like maybe 2 years, 3 years?
I think it could probably be done by about 2023, 2022, 2023. Especially if you're in line with kind of like the Green Party's values, net zero emissions by 2030.
2030?
Yeah, 2030 to 2050,
I don't even think the Earth will survive 2030. I think the Earth is going to die
Bit
soon.
pessimistic.
No, the future is, as Elon Musk said, Mars. We have to be on Mars.
You really want to go to Mars?
I really want to go to Mars. Even though like, I'll be scared coming down to Earth, but I don't think I want to come back to Earth. The job sector will increase there. There's the unemployment rate there is 0.
Yeah.
We'll have nice farms there. I can ride my tractor.
I think this is a topic for another podcast. The whole colonizing
Mars. Now, Mars is beautiful, man.
Fast fashion on Mars.
Fast fashion on Mars. There's 0% of fast fashion happening
no
on
oceans
Mars.
to pollute on Mars.
No oceans. It's all sand.
Yeah.
It's a red, nice planet.
Exactly. And I think that is basically a good point to wrap it up.
Yeah, that'd be great.
To be honest, I think with fast fashion, it is the next upcoming threat to the climate. And people can talk about how much climate change is going to be the end of humans, but as long as you keep contributing to it,
It'll be there. It'll still stay there.
yeah,
It will always be up there. It will be coming back up. It will haunt you every day. You're always contributing to it.
it's like you said, people are unaware that they're even contributing to it by paying into the kind of brands.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good point to close off
Perfect.
here, to be honest.
Thank you very much, man. Great night. See you later, guys.
Thanks
See
all
you.
for watching.
Thank you for